In life, every man has twin obligations: obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children, and he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country. So, this is very important. Now, what Nelson Mandela is telling us, that in life, every man has two obligations to fulfill. Two obligations. What are the two obligations? That is, obligation to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children, and he has an obligation also towards his people, his community, his country. In a civil and humane society, each man is able to fulfill these obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities, but impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. So he says that in a society, each man is able to fulfill these obligations towards the family, parents, wife, children, and also obligations towards his people, community, according to his own inclinations. Inclinations is natural tendencies of behavior and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. So he says, but in a country like South Africa, especially when I was born as a black, it was very difficult to fulfill both of those obligations. In South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. Isolated means he was separated, he was kept lonely. So he says that in South Africa, a man of color means of a black man who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart. So he says, in a country in South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill his duty to his people was inevitably, means unavoidably, ripped from his family, means he was taken away from his family and his home and was forced to live a life apart. A twilight existence of secrecy placed my people above my family. Was forced to live a life apart. A twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. I did not in the beginning choose to place my people above my family. So he says, in the beginning, I did not choose people above my family. But in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. So he says, but when I was moving, I was rebelling, and I was serving my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my duties as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free in every way that I could know. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream and ran through my village, free to roast mealies under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow-moving bulls. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. So he says that I was born free, and till the time I was free swimming in the stream, I was free to run in the fields, and till the time I abided by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion Illusion means something that appears to be real, but it is not real. So then I realized that this freedom which I was getting as a boy was an illusion when I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. So he says that that boyhood freedom, the freedom which I got when I was a boy, was just an illusion. It was not a real freedom. Because when I grew as a young man, I realized that my freedom had already taken away. At first, as a student, I wanted freedom only for myself, the transitory freedom of being able to stay out at night, read what I pleased, and go where I chose. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential, of earning my keep, of marrying and having a family, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. So he says that as a student, I wanted freedom to go and study anywhere, to stay out at night, which I did not get. And as a young man, I wanted freedom to achieve to the best of my potential. Potential means to the best of my ability. But I was not given that freedom. But then I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. So he says, then I realized that even I was not free, and even my brothers and sisters were not free in South Africa. I saw that it was not just my freedom that was curtailed. Curtailed means that was reduced, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I did. So he says, it was not only that my freedom was reduced, but it was the freedom of the whole black community, or you can say non-white community, that was curtailed or that was reduced. That is when I joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for my own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. It was this desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated my life, that transformed a brightened young man into a bold one, that drove a law-abiding attorney to become a criminal. So he says that this feeling to get freedom, this hunger for freedom, that made me different from other people, because I wanted to live my life with dignity and self-respect, and this transformed, this changed a brightened young man into a bold one, and I became very bold. I was a brightened young man, not brightened, I was a frightened young man, means I was a frightened young man, but I changed into a bold one, and I was a law-abiding attorney. I always abided by the laws, I always followed the laws, but now I became a criminal. That yearned a family-loving husband, that turned a family-loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life-loving man to live like a monk. So he says, I changed because of the hunger of freedom. This is very important. He says that I changed because I wanted to live my life with dignity, and this transformed me from a frightened young man into a bold one. And I changed from a law-abiding attorney, means I always used to abide by the law, I used to always follow the law, to a criminal. And from a family-loving man, I was forced to move out of a life, out of that loving man life, to a monk. I am no more virtuous or self-sacrificing than the next man, but I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. So he says I could not just enjoy that small freedoms which I had, very small freedoms, when I knew that my people could not enjoy. Because there is a stark difference between the whites and the non-whites in South Africa. Apartheid was followed in South Africa in those days. And Nelson Mandela was the one who raised his voice against this movement, that is apartheid. Freedom is indivisible. The chains on any of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. So he started thinking that if other people are chained, they don't have freedom. So even he did not have freedom because he wanted to fight for his country, for the people of his country. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. The oppressor is the one who keeps restriction on the other person. So oppressor are the whites and oppressed are the blacks. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. This is a very important line. So man who takes away the freedom of another man is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice. Prejudice means hatred, and narrow